Mr. Paka. From an operator's perspective, what makes a fair and transparent tributary agreement tributary agreement between local miners and landowners and investors? I'm sure you understand about the tributary agreement, which is captured in the Mining Act 1992, which allows for joint venture between local landowners and also investors.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think what actually happens is that MRA regulates gives them the license to the mining leaseholders, and the leaseholders, which basically you can have an AML, which is an alluvial mining license, which is not mechanized, it's artisanal gold mining license, and then you have the mining license, which requires mechanized mining. You know, in the event that you need help to mine, and a lot of our locals don't have the machines and things to mine, so what they do is they ask for a joint venture partner. And that joint venture partner is now open to abuse, and which has been abused by a lot of, especially Chinese coming in. They've come in with machines, and what they've done is it's also one of the issues that we've faced, like the recent incident that happened in Bulolo where they killed 12 people. That was over a lease that was should have been protected because there are people living on that lease. But you know, the Chinese just comes in and takes one landowner and say, look, you go and register that lease. And they force them, they pay for them, and they send them to Mosby to register those leases. And then they go around the back and they do all sorts of deals in the back to try and get this guy the lease so that then they can go in and mine. And this is what's causing a lot of problems. This is why we got 12 deaths, and these people have escaped that. But the arrangement is that when you have a tribute agreement, is an agreement between the developer. I'm also a miner, and I'm also a buyer, and I'm also a developer. So I do development for other mining leases as well. And the arrangement is basically, depending on the richness of the lease, because normally, you know, sometimes you got to assess it individually based on the fact that if that's in a good deposit area, well, if you're going to get a lot more return on it, then you negotiate with the landowners. He gets a bit more than what is. I mean, what used to be when I first remembered was about 10%. Now it's increasing up to 10 to 20, 25% now to the landowners as a tribute agreement arrangement, and the 75% go to the miners. And depending on the mining leases, there's some leases that I've signed up. If we've got a grading arrangement where if the leases are higher, if we make more money on the leases and there's good gold, they get a bit more. You know, we just increase it as the production increases. So it's a great thing for them. But there's some areas that don't have good deposit, you could end up losing money as well. So it is a ground that needs to be tested. You know, like it's not a gray area, a clear-cut area where you can easily go in and say, look, we come up with that sort of agreement. But it's also based on the amount of deposits. At the end of the day, it's a profitable. You know, you've got to look at it on a business level where you decide whether it's profitable or not to go into mining, and that sort of agreement is also based on the arrangement that you have in terms of paying them and that. But yeah, we have a lot of Chinese running around now, and then we're starting to get some other foreigners coming in as well, and you know, that industry itself, you know, for you to go into an alluvial mining project, you don't need 10 million. So to begin with, they're disqualified to come in as foreign investors because it's not even worth 10 million, the deposit, the capital that they need to put into. So that disqualifies them automatically, but yet they are here. And these are the sort of issues that we need to look at and address. And the gold that they dig, they give the landowners, or they buy it off the landowners, and that gold never goes through the system. It disappears, guys. It disappears, Papua New Guinea. I've been advocating on this for a long time, and it really hurts. Because the more we have those money back in our country, the FX issue would be resolved. A lot of wealth would be created for our Papua New Guineans, and the benefit would be amazing. But unfortunately, it's not happening, and those people have politicians in their pocket. Trust me, they do. They meet everywhere. Yeah, they even sing happy birthday to your Prime Minister. So there you go.
Thank you for pointing that out. Do you see what can you recommend to address this issue and to do with transparency around the tributary agreements between the landowners and the investors? As you said, mainly Chinese. Any specific recommendation for the regulators to note?
Look, what we need to do is that the problem is really big. They just cleared 109 before, and they left the machine behind. Now they're back in there, mining again, after a few months. Now they've gone in, 89 have come out. They've arrested 89. What are we doing about it? Are we serious? Do we want to fix this country? Why don't we confiscate all the machines? You know, in other countries, they burn the machines. You know, the military and the police goes in there and burn all the machines. That's what we're seeing here in Wau and Bulolo, because we have access to road. You go to Popondetta, you go to Wewak, Vanimo, you go to all these other remote areas, I tell you, it's all happening. And these are things that we don't see. And that's the wealth that you cannot renew. That once that's gone, it's gone. And that should be the wealth that should be going back into the pockets of our Papua New Guineans, who should be able to utilize that at the time when the price is good to build their home and build a community and create a better living for themselves. But we have now allowed this to be abused, and our people will remain poor. That's the sad truth about it all. What do we do about this? Are we just going to let this continue? Now we've arrested another 89, and the machines are going to be left behind, and then they're going to come back. And they are being brought here by the other Chinese that have been here doing business, that are putting money under the tables, under the mattress. I'm telling you, a lot of this tax, they're getting away with a lot of taxes. And while I'm touching on that, I'll give you guys an example of the business that I do. I do export gold, but I'm competing against these people that are laundering money out of this country using gold. And I've been emphasizing on this for too long, and nothing has been done about it. It's really, really sad, because when you talk about compliance and you talk about traceability and all that, you come to my organization, you come to my business, and you'll see every trace of where the gold came from. I can pinpoint you on the map where it came from. None of these guys can. And also IRC, take note, because within the business community here, we can't be able to sell to another business unless we charge GST. Am I right? Yeah, and this is what's happening. They're selling to each other without GST. You guys can go and clean this out. I'll tell you one thing, if we put a ban on foreigners getting involved in any form of gold except the big mines, you will see a big change in our community tomorrow. I don't have an account overseas. Another Papua New Guinean who's got a license doesn't have an account overseas. They don't need to repatriate their money overseas. This is where we need to develop. And by Papua New Guineans owning these leases and owning this mining license and export licenses, then and only then can we bring the money back here and we can develop our own place. At the moment, this is the biggest money laundering vehicle for foreigners in this country today, the illegal operators. That's because of the Look North policy, and that's really, really stuffing our country up. We're losing billions and billions, multi-billion kina every year. And it is a sad truth.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.